Yeah, as of now we covered all the concepts with with only one class, right? So
Yes, sir.
so you simply define one class, let's say my class, and here we defined all our properties and methods, right?
Yes, sir.
Properties and methods. So after that we are building the objects for this class, right?
Yeah.
Creating objects. So let me give pause here. How do you create object? Simply obj equal to my class. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Meanwhile, we'll recap the existing topic. Other people will join. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Like this, we okay. After that, once we created the object of this particular class, you can access the members of this class, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is a instance, right? So we can
Yeah.
call the instance
Constructor.
instance
Yeah.
methods of this class, right? So
Yeah.
if we have, as of now, we have defined not defined any, but in reality we have a constructor, we have properties, we have a methods, we have a static method, class methods, so many, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the process to create a objects. Oh, after that calling, accessing the accessing the accessing the members attributes. Attributes in class. Okay, what are the attributes, guys? It could be a functions or not functions. We have to use terminology called methods. Okay, methods and properties, right?
Yes, sir.
Methods and properties. So sometimes we can say the variables also. Okay, no?
Okay.
We can access the, see, once if we have any constructor, that construction we have, but let's say it's taking some parameters, right? So that we keep the data in the self, right?
Yes, sir.
So whatever we keep data in the self, those all are like self arguments, right? Object instance variables.
Yes, sir.
So inside a class we refer self, outside the class this obj and self are equal, right, at runtime?
Yes, sir.
So you can access those variables here also, right? Like obj dot the whatever the variable name you want,
Variable.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it is a property, we have to call the property name, right?
Yeah. Method లా కాకుండా జస్ట్ attribute లా కాల్ చేస్తాం.
Yes, exactly. The property decorator will take care about it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next thing is, so if it is a method, we have to specify the method name. Method name.
It is having any parameters?
Yeah, exactly. We have to pass it. So if it is actually it is an instance method, it will take the default as self parameter, right? We are not going to pass that parameter. Okay, it's passing by Python at runtime. What is the self? This object, right? Current object reference. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a high level overview how what we did till now, right? So this is one class. This is kind of a template. We can use this class to create any number of objects, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So object to object data will be vary. That means instance variables data will be different object to object, right?
Yeah.
So if it is a class members, it shares the same state to the all the instance of the class, right? All the objects of the class, right? If it is a class variables data.
Yeah.
So if any change happen to class, automatically all the instance of that particular class will affect, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we have to understand. So basically here inside a class we have variables. Those variables are two types actually. One is class variables, another one is instance variables. Okay, now class variables we define at class level.
Yeah.
Instance variable we define inside a instance. methods,
In the
right?
instance.
It could
Yeah.
be a constructor, it could be any other instance method also. It's possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the difference between instance variables and let's say class
Yes.
variables. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like till now whatever the topic we have discussed. So all topics is going to be handled with only one class as of now, right?
Oh no.
So
Yeah.
in order to reuse, say if you define one function in procedural oriented programming, if you define one function, that function could be callable any number of times anywhere if you want, right?
Yeah.
So that means we define once and reusing that particular function again and again, right?
Yes, sir.
That is just one piece of function, right?
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
in case of object oriented programming, we have a class is having the collection of methods, right? Basically the properties and methods.
Oh no.
So in order to reuse it, yeah, of course we can create any number of objects we want and reuse it, right? we can
Yeah.
you can create the instance of this class and use it this one. It's okay. It is just to creating the instance of the class. But sometimes we have to split our functionality, right? If you are dealing with a complex problem, that time we have to come up with a parent based kind of classes. Okay, now we define
Okay.
some common functionality in the one parent class. Okay,
Okay.
all the childs whichever we are going to define everywhere, that the common properties means in whatever problem you are going to solve, that is going to be reused everywhere, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yeah.
instead of repeating that same code again and again and every class, you can have one base class. Okay, now child
Yeah.
class can inherit that base class.
Yeah.
Inherit means you can acquire the properties
Access.
methods of parent class from the child class. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Understood? Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's keep it simple. What is inheritance? And we will do some examples. We will get to know what exactly the inheritance. Okay.
Okay.
Inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties from another class. That means if you are talking about inheritance means we are dealing with two classes, right, guys? At least minimum.
Yes, sir. Minimum. Yeah.
Inheritance. Inheritance
Oh, no.
allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties from the another class. We define one class and we have access to the other class members inside this new class. Okay, now.
Oh, yeah.
So here the terminology is either should be parent class or child class or base class or derived class. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Parent class is a class being inherited from. Parent class is the base class. Okay, this is also called base class.
Yes.
Child class is a class that inherits from the another class. The another class would be the parent only, right, guys?
Yeah.
So this is also called, this child class also called derived class. So the best thing is you should follow the base class and derived class. Okay, now. Or if you are not comfortable with this, you can follow the parent class and child class. Parent-child relationship, inheritance means child, say let's say in our relationship, whatever property our parents will have automatically inherit to us, right? We have a rights to access that, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, no.
So that is the inheritance. That means we have a access to gain something, existing thing gaining, right? That means in case of object oriented, what is the asset main code, right? Basically.
Oh, no.
So we define some functionality in the parent class. If you want to that functionality to be used in somewhere in the child class for some particular reason, we inherit that particular class and define the properties of the child class. Wherever it required, we have access to all the functionality of parent class. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means here we have two concepts called base class and derived class. Hello.
Yeah.
Derived class, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Base class. You can follow anything, either a parent class or child class or base class or derived class. Okay.
Okay.
So So while defining base class, basically, it is just simply a class, guys. Still now we discussed about class only. Okay, now
Okay.
whatever class we are define there, it is a simply one class. Okay, another class can simply inherit this one if they want to reuse this particular functionality in their code. Okay.
Okay.
So let's define a base class. Base class is nothing but one simple Python class. Okay, na? So it is simply a class. That class could be inherited from anywhere, any child class. Let's take a use case of like a person. Okay, guys, person. Person having some characteristics, right, guys? Let's say person having some identity. First name, last underscore name. Okay. First name and last name. Let's say we have these two details to identify the person. Next thing is print person details. Okay, now let's say we need one action, right? So inside this person we are going to have these two instance variables. So in order to get the details of the person, better to have one function inside this class, right? It's a get person details. Like this you can define, right, guys?
Yeah.
So let's say this is the class. Let's define class equal to class. First letter should be capital, right? Person. So here I am going to define a one constructor. This is the constructor, right, guys?
Yeah.
Here, what are the parameters this is supposed to take? First name and last name, right?
Yeah.
First name, comma, alias last underscore name. Yeah. So here we have to keep the data in the self, right, to access further in the class other instance methods.
Oh.
So self dot
first name.
fi first underscore name equal to first name. Self dot last underscore name is equal to last name. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So let's say have a one common function that will print the get details. Okay, now get details means what details it is? Person details only, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say get person details. We can define it like this also. Get person details. It should be self-feather, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Because the reason is our data here there is no class methods. So while creating person object, we pass the first name and last name. So in order to access these, we need to have the instance method only, right?
Yeah.
So if you have self access, then you can access these two. Okay. So let's say print self dot first name icon. Let's say comma. I'm just giving some separator. Okay. Comma self dot last name. Yeah, that's it. Okay, everyone knows about this till now because we did so many examples on this type of scenarios. Okay. Yeah. So after that, in order to use this class, generally what we do, we create an object, right? Because in order to use this function, in order to use this functionality, we have to initialize this particular class, right?
Yes, sir.
With this data. Without instantiation, this method won't work, right, guys? Because there is no data. It could be unbound object, right? If you do not instantiate, if you directly call this. So if you have a constructor and the constructor having parameter, if you want to use the instance method inside this class, we have to initialize this first. We have to create an instance of this class first. Then only you can use it. Okay.
Okay.
Understood?
Yeah.
So generally we create an object obj equal to person. If it's a person, we provide the first name and last name, right, guys? Money, comma
parameters.
Money, comma G, some name, last name. So obj dot. So we created the instance of the person class. So after that, with this instance, we can access all the instance members of this class, right?
Yeah, అన్న.
So as of now, we have only this particular method, right?
Method. Yeah.
So obj dot, after that the attribute name. What is our attribute here? The function,
This
any
person.
identity. Either it could be variable or it could be a function. Okay, now get to
Yeah.
person details. Let's say get to person details. Okay. Let's run this program. Okay.
Print
See the
చేయాలి.
output. Yeah. Print. So for time being, I am just giving the separator here
Okay.
because previous output also there, so we'll get confusion. Yeah, money and G coming, right?
Yes, అన్న.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is our class. Okay.
Okay.
So if you, let's say next we are going to deal with the student, let's say. Okay. Student is kind of a person, right, guys? Student
Yeah.
going to have
అవును.
first name and last name, right?
Yes, అన్న.
So in that case, you can reuse this class there. You don't need to define again, right? You can simply reuse this functionality, right?
Yeah.
Let's say create a class student. Okay. Create a class student class student colon def student. Let's say student having the one constructor. Okay, now.
Okay.
Okay, before that, let me just do one thing. Okay, I will add all the attributes. So here we are creating class, right?
Yeah, అన్న.
So our aim is to reuse this functionality, right? Reuse this class. That means this is the derived class, this is the parent class, right?
Yeah, అన్న.
So in
Okay.
order to follow the inheritance, we have to pass the parameter of parent class here. Okay. Student in parentheses. Inside these parentheses, we have to pass the parent class names.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Here,
Okay.
this one is the derived class.
Student.
This one is the parent class, right? A parent class or base class.
Yes, అన్న.
So that means this child class will have a ability to call the members of a parent class, but parent class does not have access to the child attributes. So child class
Okay.
functionality. Only child can inherit the properties of person, the parent class. Parent class does not know anything about the child class. Okay, now parent class
Okay.
even does not know who is going to inherit this particular class, who is going to reuse this class. Only derived class know which parent he is using, right? This particular class is using.
Yeah.
That means the student have access to the call this all the reuse the all these functions, call these all functions. Okay, now parent class does not know about the derived class. Okay, understood, Nama?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, అన్న.
So here,
Okay.
this is the inheritance syntax. Okay, now class student, and inside the brackets we can pass any number of parent classes. It's okay. Okay, but as of now we have only single parent class. That's why we are defining here like this. Okay, so
Okay.
just pass is just a syntactical pass the compilation error. So as of now, inside this student class I have not defined anything, right? There is no
Yes,
attributes and members. So let's try to create the student object.
Yeah, అన్న.
Student 1 is equal to student okay, student of. Did you observe it? It is taking first name comma last name, right?
అవునన్న.
See, as of now, did you define any constructor here?
No.
In child class or derived class, do you have any constructor here?
లేదన్న.
While creating object of the student class, it is asking me to provide the first name and last name, but I
Yeah.
have not defined it.
Yes.
The reason is because of the parent class. Okay now,
Yeah.
guys, understood? Because of
Yes,
the
sir.
parent class, because
Parent.
student does not have any functionality yet, but student will have a access to the parent class, right?
Yeah.
So you can reuse this entire functionality, right?
Yes.
In order to use this functionality, we have to initialize this object, right? You have to initialize the constructor, right?
Yes.
Once we have the data, we can use these appropriate functions, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason, even if it student does not have any constructor, the parent class constructor will invoke automatically if student class does not have any constructor. Understood? So
Yes,
that
sir.
means if I not passing any data, let's try to run this program and see the output. What it is saying, line number 522, init takes two required positional arguments, first name comma last name. Okay, don't worry, no wondering here. Okay, now student does not have a constructor. If you don't know the inheritance concept, you will get confusion over here, right? Hey, I have not defined any constructor, still it is asking to enter the first name and last name, right?
Yes, sir.
So the fact is, if, let's say student does not have any constructor, but student to parent class having the constructor, right?
Yes.
So if student does not have a constructor, by default parent class constructor will be invoked. Okay, if parent class constructor getting invoked, that means we have to pass the whatever the parent class is expecting, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means while creating student class, we have to pass the first name comma last name, right?
Yeah.
This is first name comma last name. So after that, let's try to call the, do you have anything defined inside a student? No, right? Yet nothing we
No.
have implemented, just pass statement, right? So student dot, this, did you observe it? Get to
Yes,
person
sir.
details is the parent class method, instance method.
Instance. Yeah.
Last name and first name is the instance variables, right?
Variables. Yeah.
So get person details, let's print it out. I am getting Badra Alwala, right?
Yeah.
So I created the student class, but still I am able to reuse the functionality of a parent class, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
So as of now, we have only single method. Okay. In reality, we could have any number of methods like this.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now. So in order to use these instance methods, in order to reuse this instance in the child class, first thing is these methods are depending on the data of the instance, right? Person instance.
Oh no.
So very prerequisite for us is first we have to instantiate the parent class. We should somehow we should make sure this constructor being called. Then only the self data will be initialized, right?
Yes, sir.
So after that, we can start consuming the instance methods, because on bounded object instance methods will work. On unbounded object instance methods won't work. Unbounded means there is no data initialized here.
Yeah.
But you are trying to access it. It's unbounded, right?
Yeah.
Bounded object means this particular person class object is bounded with the data. Once we have self parameters initialized, we can reuse the instance methods functionality. The first step should be, while inheriting, we should make sure that if we have a parent class, that parent class having the constructor, we should make sure this constructor is invoked first. Okay, now then
Okay.
only we use the all the instance members of the class in the child class.
Yeah.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yeah, great. So this is the proof, right? Basically, hello, this is the proof.
Yeah.
Reusing. See, yeah, we are reusing entire class, right, guys?
Oh no.
So this is, as of now, we have only single function. In reality, we could have any number of functions here based on your use case complexity you are dealing with. Yeah,
Okay.
great. So student one. Let's define another object, student two. is equal to, just we have to create the another object here, right?
Yes, sir.
Me comma g into student2 dot student2 dot get person details. So first student details are this one. Second student details are this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how we inherit the parent class members in the child class. Okay.
Okay.
So why you have to inherit like this? You might get a doubt, right? You can define directly like this and reuse it, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, but why do you need to have a second child class? Because child class having child class specific business functionality, right? Hello. Child class will have the child class specific functionality, right, guys?
Oh no.
So that's why we define a child class and inherit this particular class to reuse this functionality here. So in addition to that, child class also will provide some additional behavior, right? Then only this child class is exit, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's say child class, let's say student, it takes the, let's assume that it takes the student having the name, right? First name comma last name, first name comma last name, and the graduation year, okay. Let's just assume the comma roll number, just assume like these are the details of the student. Okay. So here basically the new parameters, parent class parameters are first name and last name only, right?
Yes, sir.
Student specific details are graduation year and roll number only, right?
Yes.
So that means while creating object of the students, the student class constructor is capable of taking these all arguments, right?
Yeah.
So let's define the student class constructor here. If underscore init. So here we are reusing the parent class. Whatever the parent class is expecting, we have to initialize the data here. Okay, now.
Okay.
The parent class is expecting two parameters. What are those? First name comma last name. First name comma last underscore name comma. After that, graduation year, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Graduation year comma roll number. Okay. So after that, we have to keep this data inside a self, right?
Yeah, self.
Then only self methods can be invoke this data, right? Otherwise, these variables are just local to this constructor. After invoking, this data will be lost, right? So if you store in the self, we can reuse that in the subsequent instance methods.
Yeah, Bhadrana.
Yes.
అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ ఫస్ట్ నేమ్ లాస్ట్ నేమ్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ లో ఉంది కదన్నా, అవి డిఫైన్ చేయకుండా జస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ ఇయర్ రోల్ నెంబర్ ఇచ్చి మెథడ్ ని ఇన్వోక్ చేయొచ్చు కదన్నా.
The thing is, one thing is, if we have a child class constructor, we have a method resolution order. Okay, na? Okay, I will tell you a little bit later. So so if student class does not have a constructor defined, automatically parent class constructor will be invoked here. That's what happened here last time we did. Okay. Let's say this child derived class having the constructor, this constructor will invoke, parent class constructor won't invoke. We are responsible to initialize the parent class inside this constructor.
Okay.
Understood?
Yeah.
So because automatically there is no magic, right? If this method, if we do not have any constructor like this in the child class, automatically parent class constructor invoking. That means last time we passed the first name comma last name. You reused this, but in this context, in this context, in addition to the person or student having some additional capabilities, right? Let's say graduation year and roll number. These two are student specific. These all are parent student specific only. But with help of these two parameter person parent class, with help of these two parameters, we initialize the person constructor. After that, once you initialize, we are able to reuse the functionality, right? So in addition to that, whatever the student specific, this child class specific details, we keep the data in the self again. Okay. By default, first name and last name is storing in the self with help of person constructor. Graduation year and roll number is student class responsibility to initialize it. Okay. So first thing is, here we are inheriting from the parent class. That means parent class having the, do you have any constructor or not? Yeah, parent class having the constructor, right?
Yes.
That means we have to initialize the constructor. Okay. If you initialize the constructor, then only you can use the parent class functionality. Let's say base class. Okay, na? Base class. Initialize the base class. How do you initialize the base class? Means simply person. Okay, na? Person dot underscore init. Person dot underscore init. The parameters what it is taking, guys?
First name and last name.
First name comma last name, right? The first name is, let's say, comma last name is Samji. Okay, just assume this is our, what it is taking, what it is asking still. Somehow it is, what is, let me give here as well. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we initialize the parent class. Okay. Person dot underscore init money, and after that, what are the other parameters we have to take care? Graduation year and roll number, right? Here is child specific details we stored here like this. Graduation year is equal to graduation year. After that, self dot roll number equal to roll number. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but here basically what is happening, here it is showing something. Call to underscore need to super is missing. It is saying the parent class constructor initialization is missing, but here we are calling it, right?
Yeah.
So we will check it later. Okay. So now let's create the object of the class first.
Okay.
But the thing is, here I hard coded, right? I supposed to pass this first name and last name, right? Let me give it. Let me remove this stuff. Pass the dynamic parameter data, and here last name. Okay. After that, child specific variables. So this first name and last name also will be stored in the self, right, with help of this initialization.
Yeah.
Inside this, we store this data in the self only. Okay, let's create the class. Next thing, graduation is year is 2019. Let's say 2019, comma roll number is ABCD 1 2 3. Just assume this is the roll number.
Okay.
Okay, let me comment out this second one first to verify it. Student one dot get person details. Here we created the student class, right?
Yeah.
So here we passing the all arguments of the student, right? First thing
Yes.
is we have to verify student having the constructor or not. This student class having the constructor, right?
Yeah.
That means parent class constructor won't invoke this particular constructor only will invoke.
Okay.
That means parent class constructor being overridden here, right?
Yeah.
So this will only invoke. We are responsible to initialize the parent class constructor. Okay.
Yeah.
So here what you are doing, creating the object. In this case, to this particular constructor will be invoked, right? After that, what we are doing, this person dot underscore need first name comma last name. We are initializing the person object, right?
Yeah.
So after that, graduation year and roll number.
Okay.
So when I say get person details, actually this particular function will invoke, right, from parent class. Self dot first name comma self dot last name should be printed out here. Let me run this one and verify. Seems like some error. Underscore analytic missing on required positional argument last name. We are providing, na?
సెల్ఫ్ ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటాను. సెల్ఫ్ ఏమన్నా ఇవ్వాలా అక్కడ?
Exactly. Nice catch. Okay.
Okay.
Self comma this self comma first name comma last name.
Okay.
Okay, get person details is printing here, right? Bhadravan Alvalavan, right?
Yes, sir.
So here we are from where this function is being called, guys? Parent class.
Yeah.
From parent class, right? So let's say student specific methods. See, while dealing with student, instead of defining in order to print the person details, we have to define this function again, right? If you do not have a parent class, we have to define this function again, right, inside the student class to call like this.
Yeah.
We have already that functionality. Why should you repeat this code? You can simply inherit that class and reuse like this, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reason inheritance will help lot to reuse the code and do some object oriented stuff. Okay, so let's say diff get student details. Okay, if get to student details, here basically print roll number self dot roll number comma self dot graduation year. Okay.
Okay.
These are the details of the student. So I can simply invoke student one dot get graduation detail, get student details, right?
Yes, sir.
So here you can see the intelligent support also. This method is being invoked from the person class. Here this method is invoked from the student class.
Yeah.
Understood?
Derived class. Yes, sir.
Derived class, exactly. So here this is coming from student class, right? So the basically this method calling from base class.
Yeah, base. First thing.
This method calling from student class, right?
Yeah.
Derived class. Derived class student. So let's cross check the parent class and child class again. This is our parent class. 8% details. That's it. This is
Okay.
all the student details. First name, graduation year, roll number. Here we initialize the parent class. Without this statement, we cannot call this, right?
Oh no.
Without this statement. If you do not have this constructor, okay, it automatically initializes, right? Parent class constructor will invoke. If you have a constructor, your child class constructor will invoke automatically. So if your class is inheriting from any parent classes, you are the responsible to initialize the parent class to reuse the parent class members in the child class. Because parent is expecting some data. Based on the data, only instance will run, right, guys?
Oh no.
So whatever data parent is expecting, we have to initialize the data first before reusing these members like this. Okay.
Okay.
So let's define one more function. Get full details. Student dot full details. Okay.
Okay.
Full details. Full details in a sense, let's say define data is equal to, let's define one dictionary. Define one dictionary.
Okay.
First underscore name. First underscore name means it is there in the self dot name, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
But here we do not have a self dot name. But because here we are passing ourselves only, right? While defining the parent class, that means ourself only, this first name and last name will be initializer, right? Not this one, sorry. Okay, so there we have two classes the same name. That's why it went there automatically. Actually, it is invoking our latest class only, this one. Okay.
Okay.
This self is passing from the child class. That means it is a child class objected at runtime. Hello.
Yeah.
So we are keeping first name and last name. So the first name, last name is stored in this cell, in this particular cell only, right?
Oh no.
So after that, this student additional parameters like graduation year and roll number is storing into here.
Okay.
So get graduation details coming here. Get student details are coming. Get full details. Basically the details of person and the roll number and the graduation year. Okay. So in order to fetch the person details, first thing is we will have access to self. That means whatever data we have stored in the self, we can access here, right?
Yeah.
So here, first name, comma. I'm just preparing the dictionary, guys. Nothing new here.
Okay.
Last name colon self dot last name. Okay. After that, we have a row graduation year, right?
Oh no.
Graduation year. Graduation year variable is self dot graduation year. Okay. Next thing is roll number. Roll number self dot roll number. These two self dot roll numbers are initialized in this child constructor only, right?
Oh no. Yeah.
First name and last name initialized in the parent class constructor, but the object self will be the student class reference only, right? Student class object reference.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, exactly. Here we are doing it. We have to return this data, right? Return data. When we call this function, this particular dictionary will create and store into this data, right?
Oh no.
So when you return it to this particular dictionary only will return the data, right? Whatever data we have.
Yeah.
First name, last name,
Key value
gradation.
format also.
Yeah, gradation here. Here at runtime, whatever data we have in this variable, that particular data will be rendered here. Okay. Last name will come here. Gradation here will come here. Roll number will come here. Okay. Let me call the instance method. Another instance method. So student one dot full details. Here you can say, you can simply student. It is returning right back. Data is returning back from this function, right? So we can
Yes,
store the
sir.
data in the variable, right?
Yeah.
Student full details. Student full details equal to student one dot get details. When I call this method, simply prepare this data, return that data back. Whatever this function is returning back, we are just storing into some variable to use it in the somewhere in our program later. Okay.
Okay.
So we are storing it to just print for now, but reality we can have any whatever you want, you can do it. The student full data will have that this dictionary right at runtime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this dictionary. So when I print this, whatever function this is returning, that particular data type is storing here. We are just printing the data here. Yeah, let me run this program. Yeah, first name Bhadravan, last name Alwala, graduation here, and roll number is coming here. Okay. Yeah, next thing is we observe it. These two are calling from which class?
First name and last name is from object of the child class.
These two methods calling from which class?
Derived class.
Derived class. This particular method calling from
get person details. ఒక్కసారి పైకి వెళ్ళరా అన్న? Yeah, అన్న. Get
parent
person
class.
details అన్న.
Yeah.
Parent class.
Parent class. Very good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, parent class, right?
Yes, fine.
Yeah. Okay. With help of inheritance, whatever we define here, all those members can be accessible like this, right? This is one example. I'm just accessing the parent class variables, right? These are these two.
First and last.
So this is variable. That means self whatever the data, whatever the functionality the parent class is providing, this child class will have access to that all the functionality. Okay, this is variable. We can like this. If you have any function, we can simply call. If it is a function, we can call that function like this. Whatever data it expects, you can pass that data also. Okay.
Okay.
If we are able to access with the student.get details, means inside this also we can access, right, guys? Self.get student get person details. Hello.
Yeah.
Here output is there, right, guys?
Yeah.
Output from this in this output, what I am doing, I am calling on function. Okay, na?
Yeah.
I am calling on method. Okay, we have to follow the terminology called method here. Okay.
Okay.
So first, when we call like this self.get person details, Python will look for this particular method in the current class. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any method in the current class with this name? Get person details? No. Okay, it failed in the current class because there is no member called get person details in the current class student, right?
Yeah.
So if it is not there, that means after that Python will look at the inherited classes.
Okay.
As of now, we have only one class.
Only first name, last name.
Yeah. From that class, this particular, if it is found, it will call this function. Otherwise, it will throw attribute not found kind of error. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. We have so many inheritance we will discuss